Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Who We Viewed, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. Today, we're talking about the fifth Doctor story, The Awakening. But before we get into that, my name is Ben, and I'm here with my co-host Cam. How you doing today, Cam?
I'm doing. Um, Last night I woke up at sorry, not last night. This morning I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Uh, Took like a 20-minute, like not a nap, but like resting my eyelids halfway through the day. So I'm still running on fairly low amount of sleep.
Why do you wake up at 4 a.m.?
You know those times when you just wake up in the middle of the night and you're just like, why do I have all the energy in the world and I can't go back to sleep? I never had that happen.
Not really.
Well, that has happened to me, and that this today was one of those days where it's like, "Oh, I'm fully up. Why am I fully up?"
I don't know.
But yeah, it's also a weird day because we are on a blizzard eve.
Yes.
We're gonna get so much snow. The biggest amount of snow that we have got in New England, basically since 10 years ago in 2015. I don't remember the last time that I've seen 2 feet, maybe a possibility.
Still gotta go into work tomorrow.
We will see about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing else really to say. I watched this movie called Shallow Grave with Christopher Eccleston. It was
Ooh.
fun to see him in a movie,
I don't know if I've
a
ever
drama.
seen anything that he's in other than Doctor Who.
Yes, you have. You've seen Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, yeah. Actually, no. I've seen that movie once, 12 years ago.
Hmm.
So I don't remember that. I feel like of Doctor Who actors, I see um 12.
Oh, Peter Capaldi.
Yeah. I see him in a bunch of things, I feel like.
Yeah. Big thing that he did was, I would say, was Suicide Squad a couple of years ago
Yeah.
as the
And
Thinker.
Black Mirror.
Yes,
Did you see that Black Mirror episode?
I have not. Black Mirror. I have a complicated relationship with Black Mirror. The past couple seasons, they just haven't done it for me. It's just like it's not what it used to be. It needs a new reinvention of the show, or Charlie Brooker just needs to move on from it.
Yeah. I think this we've definitely talked about this before, but the newest season we got is one of the good ones, I would say.
But still, like that, those first 2 seasons are just incredible.
Oh, absolutely. It's just become much more, I don't know, Hollywood?
Yeah, but also part of the problem is that it's an anthology show that's kind of limited, and also it doesn't help that Charlie Brooker writes a majority of them. It needs another voice. Charlie needs to bring in more writers to have it be a little bit more fresh. I don't think it's helped that he writes majority of them. And the one I watched, which was the first one of last season, it's like this is so repetitive of uh it's kind of felt like ChatGPT create me a Black Mirror episode, and that was what I got. Like it became kind of predictable.
Yeah. I just finished watching the newest episode of Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
Would you say that was predictable?
It's it's not good.
Mm,
This is episode 3. The first 2 were fine,
mm.
but this one is not good. There's a balancing act for this show. It wants to be Star Trek that we know and love. Of course, this is, you know, not what's the guy's name?
Alex Kurtzman,
Yeah, this is Kurtzman Trek. It's trying to be Kurtzman Trek, but also your teen drama.
because that's what Star Trek needs.
He said, she said, my God, did you hear? She slept with him, and oh, we got to get back at those bullies over at the other academy. Ooh, and I don't care at all about
But
that.
isn't the whole point of Star Trek is that like humans just get along together? There's no conflict with humans. Wasn't that whole pitch?
I mean that's Roddenberry's. utopian
Yeah.
idealism, which I mean, it's definitely evolved beyond that. But it's not all humans, you know. It's everybody
Yeah.
trying to get along. I like the Star Trek parts of it. I don't like the teen drama.
How's Paul Giamatti? How's the boy?
He's been in it for like 5 minutes of the 3 hours because each episode is 1 hour minimum,
Oof.
which is too long. Needs to be like 45 minutes max.
And I assume it's not like episode of the week. It's telling one story throughout the season, correct?
Yeah. And all the characters aren't likable because they're
Yeah.
teenagers and they're doing stupid shit. I like one of them,
But so what's the target demographic for this show?
teenagers.
But what teenager cares about Star Trek Academy?
I don't know. It's not like a kids because they say fucking shit and sex a lot.
Yeah. But that's not for the Trekkies. The Trekkies don't want that.
That is one thing I think should not be in Star Trek because
Yeah.
it conflicts with that utopia.
Yeah.
Um, but Kurtzman Trek, we're cool. We can say it because we're not on broadcast TV. This is
Yeah.
Paramount Plus, baby. Fuck yeah.
But like, I don't know. I like that's not Star Trek though. Even as someone who's not the biggest Star Trek fan, even I'm like I know that cursing and just swears is just that's not what you do for Star Trek. You could do so much things with Star Trek. That's not it.
That's not the big innovation.
No.
I'm someone who is not as good. I've talked about this extensively already, but we're past the peak of Star Trek, but I still like it in its
Yeah.
current state. But I'm really not digging this show so far. Like the first two episodes were like 7 out of 10. This is like a 4 out of 10 now
Oof.
because it all the Star Trek stuff, like the Doctor, which is the best part of the show, was not in this one.
Also, I would imagine it doesn't help that like any of these type of shows where like it's getting attacked by like the crowd that's like woke, anti woke, and when it's actually as bad, it always kind of sucks. It's like why can't it just be good so you can shut up those people?
It's disappointing.
Don't worry, Ben. You're gonna get Skydance Trek soon, and you're gonna see how Brett Ellison does Star Trek.
We'll see.
I'm curious to see what they said that they're gonna make new movies. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with the new movies. They're gonna do Are they gonna do the original series again? Are they gonna reboot that? Or are they gonna do a new movie series where it's like this is just a complete new like lineup that's just for the movies?
If they're targeting theatrical release, they're just gonna do a reboot.
But like almost impossible to cast Kirk and
Kirk
Spock
Kirk and Spock
again.
will get people into theaters.
But like that was impossible the first time and somehow it worked. Regardless of how you feel about those movies. Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto are great as those perspective roles.
I mean, if they keep I'm way more in the world than you are. So there's been recasts in Strange New Worlds
Yeah.
where we have Kirk and Spock and we're missing a bunch of people still,
Yeah.
but everyone that they have these new
But
actors
they're not gonna use those people, Ben. They're
they
gonna use
could.
movie stars. No, Ben, they're gonna use movie stars.
I don't want to see, I don't know, Chris Evans as Kirk or something silly.
Well, no, it would have to be like younger if they're not gonna because if it's gonna be like that, it's just they're just gonna cast Chris Pine again. But then again, like I'm still just disappointed we never got Star Trek 4. But anyways, Ben, this is not a Star Trek podcast.
No, this is a Doctor Who podcast, and today we are talking about The Awakening,
Ugh.
the second serial of season 21. This was broadcast January 19th through January 20th in 1984 on BBC One.
We were so close to recording this today that it came out on its anniversary. We done that before. I forget what episode we've recorded an episode of Who We Read. I believe that we recorded it the day of the episode at transmission.
Possible. Um, this was written by Eric Pringle, who this is his sole Doctor Who writing credit.
And we will talk more about that once we get into our discussions about the episode, and we'll talk about some of the behind the scenes stuff this
Yes. And
episode.
this was directed by Michael Owen Morris, who was a production assistant for The Pirate Planet, but this is his sole directorial work.
Hmm.
Or on Doctor Who anyway. It says he also worked on like EastEnders and stuff.
Of course. If you work on Doctor Who, they just give you just automatically like, yeah, you got to work on either EastEnders or you have to work on Coronation Street. It's one of the two.
Oh boy.
How excited! So when we get to Dimensions in Time, are you gonna try to watch that the EastEnders during that time period, so you at least you understand who those characters are when we get there?
Oh yeah, I'm queuing up to watch like 500 episodes of EastEnders. Of course, because I gotta get the full picture. No, I would I might watch like a random episode from around that time period just for fun.
Yeah.
The completionist in me knows I should never start watching a soap opera because I will just die.
Yeah, I am curious to see what a British soap opera is because I only, of course, know the American soap operas, and they are all very bad. Like, I remember in particular General Hospital, there was a time when I was in, like, 2nd or 3rd grade, General Hospital this was around the era of Twilight. So, oh, actually, I forget what grade I said, but it was, like, during 4th or 5th grade, so during the era of Twilight, and they decided to have introduce vampires onto the soap opera. So they had this whole vampire arc. That was the only time I paid attention to the soap opera being on the TV because I was like, "Why the hell is vampires in this?" Even as a kid, I'm like, "This is wrong."
If I were to watch a soap opera, I would probably check out Dark Shadows. Just
Yeah,
because that I mean, I'm sure it's be random drama bullshit, just because it's a soap opera, but having these fantasy elements just makes it inherently more interesting. At least on paper. It might
yeah.
suck. I have no
Don't worry,
idea.
there's big finish also for Dark Shadows. Did you see that?
I did. That is what alerted me that it exists.
Really, not the Johnny Depp Tim Burton movie? Wow. That's my only touchstone, and that movie is goddamn awful.
Yeah, I'll have to take your word for it.
Well, no, you don't have to take my word for it, but you know what you have to do? You have to watch the movie.
But I can't watch
Report back next week.
I can't watch the movie without watching the TV show though, can I? I'm starting to get Simpsons DVDs. I'm building that collection.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how far I've only I got season 3 because
Hmm.
then as in one episode that isn't on Disney Plus
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because Michael Jackson
Yeah.
is a bad
You
man or something.
did mhm.
Completely off topic, but in the spirit of starting something huge that I know I will want to finish.
Where are you in Simpsons at the moment?
Uh,
Are you still
we're
watching it,
like
or did you take a break?
4 episodes into season 3. I've started watching it with my family.
How you liking it?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Not all episodes are created equal, but there's some funny and heartfelt ones.
yeah. And now you're getting to that golden age period where it's like almost there's so many great episodes.
Yes.
Especially season 4 is when it really gets like, "Oh, this is one of the greatest TV shows ever made."
Really.
Oh, yeah.
I never understand. It seems crazy to me that it can, at some point, have such a huge dip in quality.
Like, you have said this multiple times, it's like, it just but, like, you understand, Ben, this is, like, a known fact. It's, like, one of, like, it's a cultural fact that Simpsons got bad at a point.
But what happened? Did just like every single person involved with it leave?
No, they all stayed, majority of them.
Then what happened?
They ran out of ideas. There's only so much ideas that
They
one
they
person
ran
can
out of
have about
ideas
one
and then
thing.
kept going for another 20 years?
Yeah. Uh-huh. They also got older, um, so, like, like, there is something there that you only have, like, so many ideas, and then especially when it's something like The Simpsons where you can only do so much. But again, I say that, but, like, the show does so much crazy shit, but, like, it's easier when a show, like, I would say with Futurama that they can do more crazier shit because they can just add science fiction stuff to it, and that will always be fun because they can parody or they can go so many more different directions than something like Futurama, whereas Simpsons has to be in a reality-based thing for the most
Why
part.
though? Why can't they evolve and change and grow?
Yeah, but that's not the
Radical
sitcom.
changes.
That's not sitcom, dude. Well, they have the radical changes, which is now that all the characters sound like they're 80-year-old, voice actors.
But this is not a Simpsons podcast either, Cam.
No. We're rarely sidetracking to that because we have to talk about The Awakening.
Produced by J&T, by the way. To give a quick synopsis of The Awakening, the TARDIS brings the Doctor, Tegan, and Turlough to the English village of a Little Hodcombe in 1984, where an alien war machine is lurking in the local church. Mock war games reconstructing the English Civil War become dangerously real as Sir George Hutchinson begins to lose his mind under the telepathic influence of the Malus, an evil creature entombed in the local church since the Civil War. Teen is forced to become the Queen of the May and is horrified when she discovers the Queen's traditional fate to be burned alive.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
And where did that come from, Ben?
The Doctor Who Classic Full Episodes YouTube channel. Cam, what did you think of The Awakening?
Oof. Not good. Not good at all. This was awful. Um, somehow it made me go, I wish they did things that the King's Demons did. At least King's Demons, I was a little bit interested with the first part. This one, like, from the get-go, it's like, I am not invested in this story. It is pretty much throughout the whole runtime. It's it's 2 parts, but it's has too much stuff going on for 2 parts, but also has too little for 2 parts. It somehow is both. All of the exposition in the story is told in a matter of I don't care about it, so I'm not interested in it. So the for majority of the runtime, I'm just confused on what actually is happening, and it has one of those problems that classic Doctor Who sometimes has of what are the stakes I'm really supposed to be paying attention to. Where this one, I there was no ever any moments in this story where I was like, "Oh, I'm invested in this storyline." I'm not invested in anything that happens in the Awakening. What did you think of it, Ben?
To comment on the exposition thing, I feel like I don't know if I just tuned out, but I feel like I was missing a big chunk of the
Uh-huh.
exposition because at some point it's like it's the Malice. What is that? They're like, oh, they're looking at the tombs. Oh, it's the depictions of the Malice. This thing that I'm mentioning now for the first time, and I'm not going to explain what it is. Maybe that's on me.
But I was also thinking about it, Ben. I was like, trying to pay attention to this. What about grandma that's watching this at tea time in Britain? What is she thinking about this story?
Not much. I I thought it was just meh. Like this isn't as offensively bad as Warriors of the Deep, but it is kind of uninteresting, kind of boring. I agree. It's weirdly paced. And none of the two-parters in this era have worked at all.
Like, I would say that with all of them, I have chummed to Black Orchid more. I warmed to Black Orchid more after watching The King's Demons, and I definitely warmed to Black Orchid more after watching The Awakening.
Yeah, agreed. It's just the two parts. I don't know if they understand how to write for that because you need to have a cliffhanger in there. So there needs to be like a peak. I don't know. It's like part one is like act one and part two is act three, and we're missing the in between state where
Yeah.
nothing really happens in the first part and
Mhm.
everything happens in the second part.
Yeah. It's famous Black Orchid is definitely has that symptom of, like, the first act is the first part is one story, the second part is another story.
Yeah, King's Demons is completely that nothing happens in part
Yeah.
one and everything has to rush to a
Yeah.
conclusion in part two. I didn't feel as rushed as I did in King's Demons here. I feel like things came to a conclusion fairly naturally, if unsatisfyingly.
Yeah. See, alright, I mentioned it when we talked about the writer of this episode, but let's talk about behind the scenes because I think that does say a lot about this story. So Pringle wrote the script, but then Eric Sayward and John Nathan Turner both thought that it should be condensed to be a two-potter because there wasn't as much there for a four-potter. So Eric Sayward was the one that rewrote it. Then the writer Eric Pringle, he not particularly pleased with Sayward's rewrites, believing that they made the story confusing and rushed. And I have to agree that it's confusing and rushed.
Yeah.
That's like he summed it up best. The writer of the episode knows the problems with it, which is it's just somehow it's too fast and also it's too confusing. Even though it's pretty simple, but also it is way too confusing because the way that it divvies out its exposition is just it does not make me interested in it. It makes it so hard to follow.
I only learned about this looking at the wiki. Apparently, the doctor's outfit is redesigned. Did you notice that?
I did not. I know at a point in season 21 he gets a new costume. He has a new jumper and a new in a new pants.
Slightly tweaked, but pretty similar.
It's still the same costume from a majority of people standpoint. It still has the same iconography. It's just slightly tweaked. It's just like I'm looking at the pictures now. It just seems like the main thing is that the jumper is more red. He has like a red. He has like red like lines in his waist, as well as the pants he wears is like orange now. Instead of before, it was like another. It was also beige with like a with like a maroon. Now it's like red and orange. I gotta say I think the addition of like the two red bands on his waist is a good addition to the costume. It does make it look more striking. What do you think of it?
Oh yeah, so there's more red around the collar and more a big like red waistband.
Yeah,
Yeah, adds a little bit of color to the beige, a little bit more.
yeah.
Looks good.
It's an improvement, even though it's a slight one. And yeah, Peter is fine in the story. He gives a serviceable job as the Doctor, much better than he was in Warriors of the Deep, where that's a story where you can kind of tell he doesn't want to be there. The story he is invested. He is trying to play the Doctor. It's just not the story is just not there for him.
Yeah,
And the companions, because of the two Potter, are basically just not in the story. There's nothing really too memorable
yeah.
to say about Tegan
Tegan gets
and
kidnapped,
Nissa, not
and
Nissa,
that's
Tegan
basically
and
it.
Turlough. Yeah,
And Turlo, what does Turlo do? Not much.
yeah,
Doctor, he's separated from everybody for most of the here.
yeah. And he's the one that's doing the main plot, so it's like,
Turlo gets locked in a barn, and
yeah,
that's
there's not
about it.
much for the companions to do this story. Partly because of the runtime, of course, but then uh Alex Avery does not give them enough to do, period.
I want to know, what are your thoughts on Turlo at this point?
Uh thoughts on Turlough. Ooh. Uh, thoughts are pretty much nothing, man. I have no opinions on Turlo. He's just kind of a generic beige. He's very beige to go along with the beige doctor. Both just nothing really characters for me. Like after he is like, I'm gonna kill the doctor and stuff, it's like he basically just becomes like a generic, oh, I'll help you, doctor.
he's just a guy,
Yeah,
but not even in like a fun way that like Harry is just a guy.
yeah. But also, like, there's character traits to Harry. You could say he's prim and proper and old school. Turlough, it's like, what's his character traits?
He is an alien, I guess, although it doesn't really come into play at all.
Ever.
He's like, "Oh, I'm
But
quite fond of tea, of the
yeah, so it's
Earthlings'
like,
tea."
but again, that's just something that's not like a characteristic of that tells us about his actions of how he would
Yeah.
respond to things.
I mean, he had an arc, and the arc is done, and he's still here.
Yeah. He probably should have left at Enlightenment or in King's Demons, but he's just now stuck around for season 21 for some reason.
Yeah. I just doesn't have a purpose. I mean,
But
maybe
maybe
that will be
look,
revealed
we'll
later,
change.
but I
We still got a couple more episodes with the boy Turlough.
this is just, he's not giving me anything to grab onto. He's just
Yeah.
there. Speaking of companions, Cam, did you see that, Kamelion was supposed to be in this episode,
N-
but they
What? Chameleon was going to be in this episode?
I know your favorite companion, Kamelion.
How could this possibly get cut then?
He had one-minute scene. You can find it on, like, YouTube, uh, and they cut him.
And is this scene important, man?
It's Kamelion, of course. Of course it's important.
But yeah, I did know about it. It's you sent it to me before we
Yes.
recorded and we watched it, and it's pretty much a nothing scene. It's just there's a reason why it was cut. It doesn't add anything.
Kamelion is just there, hanging out in the TARDIS, learning.
And only in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Never able to leave.
Or Gerald Flood and, other characters. What do you think of, Jane Hampton?
Spoilers, because this is a two-part episode. There's not much to say because he's basically there's not enough time for us to get to know any of the characters this episode. There's just not. It's not, and like again, like you said, like there is enough time. It's 50 fucking minutes, but because they're not writing it for that time span, it's written for like thinking like, oh, we're gonna have another hour with these characters. It's paced like that, but it's like this story really does feel like more than I would say any other two potters that we're missing just two pots. We're missing a pot two and three in the story.
Yeah.
So all of those characters and even the villain of Malus, it's like there's nothing much to say just because it's like I feel like we never got given any time to actually know anything about these characters or the villain or what's happening here. It just feels like it's one of those stories where it's like, oh, it started and now it ended.
Yeah.
But I would say that the Malice, the design of it, that's something to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, a part of me thinks it's kind of cool looking, but also part of me is like, it looks kind of goofy.
It's camp. It's right in the line between cool and silly.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst and the best special effect.
Yeah, it's in that rare catacomb, not catacomb, a category of best and worst.
Not that there's really any other special effects we could point to.
You got that like
Oh, the
those
little,
like
like,
lights that are pairing
whenever there's a
on the
psychic
TARDIS.
projection.
Like, but Malice definitely looks like something that like there's that show. Uh, it's there was a game show on Nickelodeon as a kid. What was it? The Legend of the Hidden Temple. It reminds me of that. Did you ever watch The Legend of Hidden Temple?
I did not have Nickelodeon.
Of course. So, Baden, I'm gonna send you a picture of the Legend of the Hidden Temple. If you have seen the Legend of Hidden Temple, you of course know what I'm talking about.
I mean, sure, I guess.
Just sure?
Yeah, sure.
Damn, I think it looks pretty much. It's on the same camp, the same category. I could imagine that character Malice being on that show.
I mean, yeah, I guess, sure. Looking online, I see a lot of people draw comparisons to the demons with this
Yeah.
story. Is this just a ripoff of the demons?
Yeah, but it's not as good, and the Demons is a little bit too long, and also the Demons has the Master, and also the Demons is just an interesting story where this doesn't. Also, the it has so much things going for the word with the Demons. I just wanna watch the Demons now, Ben. So,
I feel like, I mean, the Malus is kind of a nothing.
yeah,
Maybe if George Hutchinson was a stronger villain, things would be better.
yeah.
Kitty,
Did you hear that one that time?
we did hear it. Special
Where's
guest
Kiki? Oh,
star.
yeah,
What's her name?
Gracie.
Special guest star Gracie.
She's gonna be on my lap now, unless she wants to jump down, which she's probably gonna do, but what were you saying, Ben?
If we had like a master kind of villain here, I think it would be slightly better. But instead of George Hutchinson,
Yes. There's a lot of ways to improve the story because there's nothing really there to the story.
yeah. Anything more to
Because like,
say?
if no, so that's why I was gonna say if we get into that part of the episode where we talk about how to improve the story, it just kind of like give us a story. It's one of those ones that's just like it needs a pretty big rewrite. It needs to be longer. It needs a plot
Yeah,
that's interesting.
agreed.
And then we already said best and worst special effect. So Ben, give us the cliffhangers.
One smoke billows from the Malice's hole, and the doctor stands in it, covering his ears. Jane yells, "Doctor!"
Wow, that really got the people coming back. Ben, you know how that cliffhanger was so good. You know how many viewers that dropped?
How many?
It dropped to 1.3 million. 1.3 million people saw that cliffhanger, and that was like, I think I'm good next week. Oh, sorry, not next week. It would have been. I'm good not seeing this tomorrow. At least thank God for for them. It's like, all right, it just we had a bad Doctor Who episode this week. It wasn't like somebody that was like, ah, this was 2 weeks of just Doctor Who just not being good.
Yeah. So then, Cam, how would you rate The Awakening?
This is not a good start for season 21. This is not a good start at all.
Not at all.
Um, so this is worse than the King's Demons, which I gave a 4.9. Uh, so I think this is slightly better than Terminus. So I'm going to give a 4.6.
This is a solid 4.3 for an average rating of 4.45.
So slightly better than Time Flight, but worse than King's Demons.
Yes,
And you think this is worse than Terminus?
I guess. Uh, yeah. Maybe I rated Terminus too high. And to talk about the polls every decade or so since 1998, Doctor Who magazine runs a poll ranking every story for each Doctor. In 2023, this was ranked 12 out of 20, as well as in 2014. In 2009, it was ranked number 11. And in 1998, it was ranked 14. And the 12th place puts it right above Black Orchid and right beneath Frontios, or next one above it, one that we've seen, Castrovalva.
Those people are high, Ben. Why do people like The Awakening so much?
More than Black Orchid?
Yeah.
What did we even rate Black Orchid? 7. Yeah, that's fair.
We are, I think, higher than most people are on Black Orchid. It's fun.
Black Orchid is perfectly fine.
It didn't do anything to hurt you.
But yeah, this is a rough start for season 21, and I hope it improves quickly.
And The Awakening and the final poll that they did, the full poll in 2014, it ranked 155. So above it was Destiny of the Daleks, and below it was the Black Orchid. I said the Black Orchid. I mean Black Orchid. Shocked that those three stories are as high as they are. That 155 means that it's kind of in the midpoint of all of Doctor Who.
Yeah. Better than 40% of stories.
But then there's problems with the polls. Yeah, so we like the Doctor Who community has to get together and realize that like they rated like episodes like for instance, Journey at Center's High. It's not a great episode, but it's better than The Awakening. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. That's kind of what's hard also about doing this full poll because it's like you're ranking 60 years of TV,
Yeah.
you know.
New bad stuff is probably going to be ranked higher than old bad stuff.
Ah, oof.
I would
Like
guess.
Ben, I think you will see when we get to Fair Hair. Like Fair Hair and like Fair Hair, you're gonna be like, is this as bad as something like Warriors of the Deep or Underworld? It's just bad in a different way.
I guess we'll see. But 1 month from now, Cam, we're going to be talking about Caves of Androzon. Are you excited?
Whoop whoop. Oh, I'm so excited. But we have Alex to look forward to before then.
Yeah. But next week, we will be discussing Frontios. So hopefully that's good.
Hopefully.
Generally, where just to spoil myself a little bit, where is it on the polls? It is right above The Awakening, number 11. But assuming people don't know what The Awakening is, what it should be, it's average, at least for this doctor.
But I also want to point out that one of your worst nightmares would have been getting this box set. So the Awakening, right? Imagine getting a Doctor Who box set, right? And it comes with the Awakening and the Gunfighters in a two pack.
Why?
It was called Earth Story. Not even Earth Stories. It was just called Earth Story. And it was the Gunfighters and Awakening.
Why? What do those two
Who
stories
knows
have in
why?
common other than I guess they happen on Earth?
Who knows? I leave that to the scholars at BBC Enterprises. All right, let's wrap it up then. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Join us in all the podcast feeds. Um, and yeah, join us next week for Frontios.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out.